Hello. I want to share with you about an experience I had yesterday that falls into the category of spiritual experience or mystical experience. And I want to share this because it's probably pretty typical, honestly. And also, I have a very deep insight about other people who have mystical experiences and then are wanting to relive them, re-experience them, refine them again. So let me tell you what happened first, and then I'll tell you the insight about it. So, as anything else, nothing can be seen in isolation, right? It wasn't just out of the blue. There were things building up to that experience throughout probably my life, to be honest, but also throughout the day. In the morning, I sat with Hape, which I've been feeling called to do more. That's sacred tobacco snuff. I have a video about it. I feel a very, very deep connection and reverence to this medicine. It is not psychoactive. It helps you connect to yourself, to spirit, to Pachamama, to all that is. And so I sat with that in the morning, and an unusual thing happened there as well, which is that my third eye was burning. It was burning. It's like puppy can burn a little bit. This is different. Usually the burn kind of goes away pretty quickly when it's in your sinuses or what have you. This was like nonstop for a long, long time, way longer than normal. So I thought, that's interesting. Didn't really make anything of it. I just thought, cool, I kind of rubbed it, tried to kind of ease it a little bit, and then went on with my day. Then I had a conversation with a friend that was very deep about a psychedelic experience that she had, and it also affected me very deeply. And so that was somewhere in the morning as well. And then towards the afternoon, so as you know, I play guitar and I've been looking for songs to learn, to improve my skill level, to just connect to more songs. They are just so, so powerful. The guitar really, really, really calls to me. And I clicked on this one song that was already in my playlist. And I started listening to it. The song is called This Love Is God by, oh shoot, am I going to mess up her name? Muji is one of them is, oh, Omkara and Muji. So I started listening to that song kind of on loop, but also to figure out the chords and mark them in my book and all this stuff. And just sitting with that song. And then this is when this experience happened where I just felt a wave of love and a wave of bliss, a wave of just peace. And I had this real sense that if I let myself, I can fall into that energy, into that space, into the bliss, into the joy, into the just freedom and peace anytime I want. It was right there, it was available. You know how all the spiritual teachers are always saying how it's always available. And I'm like, what does that mean? No, it's not. I'm this. And then I really had that personal experience. It was right there. I could fall into bliss anytime, anytime. And it was so powerful because also, along with that awareness, I realized I could tell the difference between that space and the stories. And they kind of looked like almost like blanket layers, gray color. Apparently, I had a visual too. I didn't even know. Um, but I could have these like layers of stories and thoughts. And well, the first one was, isn't this supposed to be harder? So you see how like my core belief about what healing is came right up. Isn't it supposed to be harder? You mean what? I could just like fall into bliss right now? Like, okay, sure. Uh-huh. all this time, all this healing, all this work, all this unpacking and reworking and, retreats and like really, like in a moment, I could just do this. So that was the first. And there were others as well. Like, what if I change? What if my husband doesn't like the new me? What if I don't like my husband as the new me if I were to let myself go? All those stories, right? They're not even real. They're not even true. And it was so powerful. So, man, it took me a while to integrate, and also integrating it by talking about it and sharing this with you. And also, first of all, in service of anyone who's had an experience like this and just maybe needs it validated or it would be useful. Like I said, it's probably not all that, wow, like unicorns and butterflies, angels didn't step out from the veil and start hugging me and, like it was a ego dissolution moment. And so that's one reason I'm sharing it. And the other is that this morning, so yesterday after the experience, I felt a lot of anxiety because it's understandable, right? Because there's a perturbation. There was a new experience that my psyche didn't know, my ego didn't know. It was kind of uncontrollable, which is the point. And so then I felt anxious. Um, but then this morning, I found myself going, "Ooh, I wonder if I can have it again." And this is very common. I hear about this a lot. A lot of the spiritual teachers write about, how you'll have an experience in meditation or something like that, and then all you want to do is recreate it so that you can relive it. And here's how I understand why, or at least a piece of the why we go there. It's not to just have bliss again. It's not. It feels like it is, right? Oh, I just had this bliss. Unfortunately, we're much more complex than that. It's not just about seeking out pleasure, right? Because the thing is, while there was pleasure, it was very complex. It was incredibly deep. And that's why, we have this mechanism built in. This is built into our traumas as well, where we actually end up recreating our traumas because they were difficult and we didn't know what to do the first time. So we want to do it differently next time. We want to do it better. It's called mastering the trauma. We want to master the trauma. It's not actually possible, but this same mechanism was actually active here and I really, really now see it that it's active in all the people who are have that mystical or spiritual experience and then are looking for it again is because the first time, or whichever time, honestly, they're different each time, at least a little bit, right? But it was unexpected. It was challenging on some level. Hey, bliss is challenging, okay? Because look at all the stories that tell us that bliss is not to be, or bliss is supposed to be harder, or something, right? So bliss is challenging, love is challenging, joy is challenging, and we want to revisit it so that we can go, okay, this time I can do it this time. Okay, this time I won't freak out, This is like, okay, I'm just gonna do it again, you know? And next time it's not going to freak me out. I'm going to let myself fall into bliss next time because why was I so afraid? Right? And so I feel like this is such an important insight for people to understand why it is that we long for this. Because what happens for people is, especially when the experience was really powerful, sometimes it actually begins to take over their life. That search for having it again, whether it takes over their, years or, or even just days or hours, it's still something where you end up clinging, right? Your ego is like, oh, I gotta have this again so that I could, fix it. I could do it better. I could something, right? So the teaching, the undercurrent of this is let go, right? When it's meant to find you again, it will find you again. When you're ready for another round or for a deepening or something different also in that realm, it will happen. Continue doing your work. But this is where that longing comes from. Like, oh, what if I could just do that? Maybe if I play that song again a bunch of times, maybe it'll put me right. Like that whole, I'm gonna get it. It's gonna be different this time. I think that's the key, right? So hopefully this is useful. I really appreciate being able to share this, and those of you who comment or like it or heart or whatever it is that you do, whatever platform you're on, I really appreciate it. These are very deep, very vulnerable experiences, and I'm sharing them because um, of what I said, to validate, to help understand for myself, and also to help others understand their experiences as well. So many, many blessings. I really appreciate you, and I will see you in the next video.